This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/ondeck.
Welcome to On Deck. I'm Matt Harris, and I'm here in beautiful Orlando for CTIA Wireless 2011 with my good friend Andrew Moore-Crispin. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Thank you.
This has to beat that rainy Toronto weather we just left, does it not?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. It's supposed to snow on Wednesday, apparently.
Losers. Sucks to be them.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to assume that everyone out there sees every single episode of On Deck, because you know who's got that kind of time.
I have the box set.
Yeah, of course. So for those of you who didn't see last week's On Deck, I'm just going to kind of throw you out there with a softball question. What is CTIA Wireless 2011?
CTIA Wireless 2011. It is the kind of a big mobile trade show for North America this time of year. New phones, new technologies, basically a bunch of announcements, kind of seeing where the industry is going for the duration of the year.
Now let's talk about things we're looking forward to. I think the big thing is probably dual-core processing iTab, or not just iPads, because that's on the brain now,
right.
But the tablet with dual-core, right?
I mean, dual-core has been popularized with the iPad 2 announcement. We saw it in the Motorola Atrix, so
right.
I'm expecting to see a lot more dual-core phones. A bunch have already been announced at the wireless show that happens in Barcelona in February, but we'll be seeing a lot more dual-core phones. So that basically means much faster phones that could do more. If you've ever kind of tapped on an app and you're waiting for it to load and you're like, what the heck? Hopefully it'll alleviate that kind of stuff.
And you're also looking forward to a 10.1-inch tablet from, what is it, Motorola?
Samsung.
Samsung.
What we're hoping for is that Samsung's going to announce the pricing of this 10.1-inch tablet. So we've seen the Samsung Galaxy Tab, covered it pretty extensively on butterscotch.com. Really hoping that we're going to see the 10.1-inch. We will be seeing it here. Really hoping they're going to start announcing some carrier pricing.
Now let's talk a little bit about connectivity and 4G. Now that's going to be obviously the future. Hopefully we'll hear a little bit about it here at the show.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll be hearing more than a little bit about it. I think along with the dual core, once you have a faster smartphone, you're really going to need to have a faster network,
of course.
And that's where 4G steps in. So.
What else are you looking forward to?
I think my biggest thing really has been the dual-core thing. One kind of dark horse. We saw the 3DS in Toronto
right.
a couple months ago coming out. I believe it's March 27th. It's actually going to hit. We're hoping to see some glasses-free 3D cell phones. So we'll see how that goes.
And we're down here, of course, shooting our show called At, which is going to be hosted by you.
I hope so.
I hope so too, because I'll be behind the camera lugging this big thing around, which, of course, is on our makeshift tripod once again.
It's very nice.
But what I want to talk about too is perhaps Android Weekly, your new show. We might be shooting it down here as well.
We're going to certainly give it a go.
There'll be lots of Android coverage, I hope, here at CTIA.
I'm assuming, yeah. I mean, that's kind of my big thing. I'm very much into Android. Pretty much expecting that Apple won't be here, so it's really going to be an Android loving for me. So I'm pretty happy about that.
I couldn't even convince you to hang onto my iPhone 4 for 2 minutes while I was setting up as well. You're like,
you're just being a slacker though. You're just like, here, hold this, hold this, hold this.
You're like, dude, take this. I don't want this. You're such a fanboy now of the Android. You're also the web editor of butterscotch.com. Where can all the fine folks go get all this coverage from CTIA Wireless?
An excellent question, Matt. An excellent question. You would go to butterscotch.com/CTIA 2011. You'll be seeing this video here. You'll be seeing every single thing we cover at the show, blog entries, maybe even Android Weekly if we get that out. We'll see what happens.
Well,
it's all at butterscotch.com/CTIA 2011 2011.
Makes sense to me. Well, we're heading now to Showstoppers, which is put on by Steve Leon and his team. Steve's great. He always gets us some really, really good interviews. So hopefully there'll be tons of interviews tomorrow morning for you guys to check out from Showstoppers.
I should point out, we have a really crappy internet connection in our hotel, so we might have to actually run to the press room first thing in the morning, upload the things, do all that stuff.
See, this is awesome. He just bought me some time in case I don't feel like editing tonight. It's like, sorry, Andy, there's a connection issue. Maybe we should get on that 4G network.
Possibly.
All right, well, for everything we've spoken about, go to the aforementioned butterscotch.com. Andrew Moore-Crispin, I'm looking forward to CTIA 2011. Let's go hit it.
Yep.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 10% off today by visiting hover.com/ondeck.